Good.
Okay. I kind of understand the frustration of John Brown, who was credited for starting the Civil War. It wasn't actually him, even though the action that he took certainly did not help things. It was, you know, the same thing that started that Civil War is the one that's pushing this one to come. It was religious indignation, the wrong thing happening toward Christians. And back in those days, people seemed to have a little more common sense than what they do now, though. In John 18:36, folks kind of had it backward then. One of the statements that John Brown, famous statements that he made, was that he says, he quoted that verse in the Bible about do unto others as you would have them do unto you, but he used that in a wrong way into saying that that whatever these folks, these unrighteous things are doing. But you know what, now if we had not had the Civil War, man, we might have been communists 100 years ago. You know, we will never truly know exactly how that would have turned out if John Brown hadn't have done the things that he did. Now, I'm not trying to defend him or saying the things that he did was right, but you know, Christ was saying here in John 18 verse 36, he was saying here, the Lord said, my kingdom, Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence, or not, it's not from here. So, you know, and William Branham has a prophecy that talks about a civil war in this country in the last days. Man, we are close. You know, almost everything John Branham had talked about, they said he made 7 major predictions, and 5 of those have came true. And we are living very close to the rest as well. There's a huge earthquake, massive earthquake he predicted. There's a communist regime attacking the country. And as far as I know, he didn't make any prediction how this should turn out. But the Bible does tell us in the end, we will win. The Christians will literally rise up and take over the Antichrist, and I believe that he is even on the scene even as we speak, but not revealed until he sets himself up in the temple over there in Jerusalem. Okay, and let's just read a couple things around this. John 18:36 in the King James Version Bible here. Okay, it says verse 33, then Pilate entered into the Judgement Hall again. And this is where Jesus was being crucified, even as the Christians are being tortured right now, being crucified. And the government, it seems like, is trying to make it okay for the Christians to be crucified. But the Lord has said to you, Christian, we're going to come out on top. You stay with who you are. You don't give in. And because those people are coming into the churches and stuff and shooting people, and because they're going into the schools and shooting children, the Lord says, don't give up who you are, because this country was won once and under the hand of God, and we can do it again. The Lord, surely it's said not for us to go out and start war, but the Lord don't expect us to run away when a war is started against us. Amen. And listen, you'll learn that if you read this starting at verse 33, John 18:33, and Jesus said, to him, thou art the king of the Jews. Rather, Pilate said to him, art thou the king of the Jews? Jesus answered, sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it of thee of me? Pilate answered, am I a Jew? Thy own nation? And of course they told him, you know, Jesus was saying, I know somebody else prompted you to say this, because you don't know anything about me otherwise, you know. That's the way politicians are. They don't know anything unless it's brought up to them, you know, unless it's stabbing them in the backside, like this one did with Pilate. Well, I tell you what, he's There is no doubt old Pilate down there in hell is still being stabbed in the backside with this. You know what I'm saying? Rear end. Thy own nation and thy chief. He says, am I a Jew? Thy own nation and the chief priests have delivered thee unto me. That's who told him. What hast thou done? And Jesus answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom from not hence. Pilate therefore said to him, art thou a king then? And Jesus said, thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. And Pilate said to him, what is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews. You know why Jesus didn't answer that? Because truth was standing before him. That's why he didn't answer it. Some things just like that are so obvious to us that that we need to just look a little deeper in the things that God has sent for us. You know, the Lord instructed Israel to fight for their land, for their rights, for who they are. Many men have given their lives for this country and the place that we have in it. And foolish men, lawmakers, listen, this today is a plea for you to use common sense when you go in the polls and vote. Because the way of the voting is going to determine if there be a war. If evil continue to take over this country, there's going to be a war. Just like there was in the old days. Unrighteousness had so prevailed in the land that slavery was away, even though that good men had no slaves. And that was not the only issue. There was a great issue of religion back in those days, even though our history books didn't point heavily toward that. It was there. It was just like it is today. It was there. And you know, the devil always causes a great ruckus to come about. So we can do this two ways, folks. We can do this on our knees in prayer, or we can pick up guns. I prefer on our knees in prayer. Amen. But I know one or the other is coming. One or the other is coming. This land cannot stand the way that it is. Alrighty. God bless you. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you again next time. Another great message, Crossing the Middle Ministry.